right, welcome everyone. It's not a Friday, but I was uh, I was in a mood for a for an event, and usually Tao holds events on Wednesdays, but from what I understood, he's not able to. So I said, okay, maybe we can do something fun, something short, something that people are used to, which is a Sabre tournament. And it would actually be really interesting to test out Hassan. I'm gonna use him. Maybe somebody else is gonna use him too, to test him out against the other Sabres and see how he fares. And yeah, I didn't want to put too much weight on this event. And yeah, we got we got some people joining in. We had 7 people, but Pico just joined. Um, Just give me 1 second here to change the. Somebody left? No. I need to change something in the settings. It was supposed to be a. Oh, I see. It was supposed to be a 7-player tournament, but it's going to be 8. Unfortunately, I will have to cap it here at 8. Because I want to have a group stage system. Oh. Okay, here we go. I need 1 second to just change the settings a little bit because Pico joined, and I will leave it like this at 8 and change the system a little bit. Alright, so sorry for keeping you waiting. So we were supposed to be 7, but now we are 8. So we're changing the system a little bit from overall round robin to a 2-group stage round robin. So we have 2 groups of 4. So everybody's going to fight everyone. I really wanted to give people the chance to fight a little bit more today. And here it is. So people are going to fight at least 3 times. And the top 2 in each group will qualify to the winner's bracket. The 3rd place from each group will qualify to the lower bracket, so more chances to fight. And from there, we're going to use the 7 flags, best of 1 system that you guys are already familiar with. In the meantime, I didn't shuffle, I just automatically did the groups, and it put Oak, Eve, and Subu in the same group. So actually, I'm going to reshuffle that because I believe it's a little bit extreme. And Pico as well in the same group. So I'm going to do it with you guys right here, just to make it transparent. So we're gonna go to participants, manage groups. We are going to eliminate these groups, and we're going to assign them automatically. So whatever happens now happens, and that is final. So here we go. Oh, it was the same thing. It was the same thing. Um, I don't know. It feels a little bit extreme to me to have these. Let me see something. Participants. Actually, let's do something else. Let's take it based on. Let's take it based on rankings, just to make sure that we make it a little bit more balanced in the groups. One sec. So yeah, so Eve is the first sword, so he's going to be here. I am next, so I'm going to be here. Then we got Pico, who's also going to be with me. Then we got Subu, who's going to be on the other team. Here we go. Here we go. Then we got Oak, who's going to be in the other one. Then we got Info, who's going to be in this one, yes. And I think we're only missing Apostle. Who's going to be in this one, and also Landsknecht. Okay, that looks a little bit more respectable, I'd say. A little bit more balanced. Okay, without further ado, let's start this. So Group A: Eve, Subu, Apostle, and Landsknecht, and the second, me, Info, Pico, and Oak. Everybody's gonna fight everybody in the group. And by the way, when you make these groups and you do the assign groups automatically, it doesn't actually shuffle the seeds. It just takes them as they were put in the participants, and it puts in the same. So even if you try to do it again, if you try to shuffle it again, it's not gonna work. So that's why we changed it. Anyway, so we got Eve, Subu, Apostle, and Landsknecht, and in the second one, me, Info, Pico, and Oak. And the first group match is going to be Subu versus Apostle. Subu versus Apostle. Subu wants to join. Welcome, Subu. How are you?
Hey, Venator, doing great.
Yeah, good to have you on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, so the way the tournament put you in, so it was you and Eve and Oak in the same group, and I think, yeah, I mean the quality of the event would have probably suffered a little bit having everybody, because as I said, the way these groups work in challenge is not exactly the same as shuffling in a double elimination or something like that. It just kind of stays the same,
Right.
even if you shuffle the groups again. It stays the same way, and I didn't want that, so I just
Mm-hmm.
took the rankings and just put like one player in that side and one player in that side. and I think it turned out well in terms of balance. So you're actually fighting first. Reminder: these are 6 flags fights in the qualifiers, and after that, in the elimination, we're gonna switch to 7. And the first fight is going to be between you and Apostle. Hopefully, he is ready to go.
Yeah, I'm happy to see the group stage system come back. I really like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about it for some time, and I said, okay, next time we're gonna have a tournament with like 7 people, 8 people, something like that. I would try to do a group stage because it gives people the opportunity to play a little bit more in the beginning without extending the tournament too much.
Right.
Oh, you got an error for the first time. Let's try again. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
All right. Let me quickly check something. Yeah. Okay, so you are on the left. Apostle is on the right. Sabre fight in for 6 flags. Yeah, I would probably have to, without upsetting anybody, I would probably have to add some sort of like a 15 minutes time between the start of the event and the registration itself, just to make sure that we know exactly, okay, at the beginning of the tournament we know exactly what system we have to play, so we won't have to change it. Alright, Barabash mirror match. Apostle might have some problems here, I think. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Oh. First cut, first kill for Subu. Probably Apostle wanted to feint. He did something that disabled his guard there. Gotta be careful with that. Oh, nice sidestep. You don't see that sidestep very often, but it's actually quite good. Oh, nice sidestep, countered by the same sidestep. So a reminder that even in group stage, points are what matters the most. So somebody that even loses all fights may have a very good chance of moving through if the other players lose at big differences. So winning is obviously ideal, but it's not the absolute requirement. A nice back cut there. Yeah, if Apostle uses Barabash today, I think he's going to be a little bit of a problem because he's quite tough to defeat. I remember last time when he competed. Oh, got caught there in the sidestep. Last time when he competed in Sabre tournament, one of those smaller tournaments that I hosted in one night, he got the 3rd place and did really well. Oh, nice run to the leg and then continues 4-3. A good display of Barabash between these two. Sidestep. Oh, nice forward cut there by Subu in the last moment. And scores the 5th flag, and he needs one more, and there you go with the snap cut. 6-3 victory for Subu. Apostle didn't do bad at all. Scored 3 flags.
GG.
And we're moving to the second match of Group A, which is Landsknecht versus Eve.
Yeah, Lanchknecht is a fighter I'm really excited to see what he can do because he's definitely a prospect. He's newer, but he's using Tarnowski. He might bring some things to the game that a lot of people aren't used to. So, especially against someone like Eve, I really want to see what he can do.
Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about him, especially that he won a tournament uh, one time with
Hmm.
Tarnowski. And considering that Tarnowski is not one of the best characters in the game, and he's actually quite difficult to use, considering the complexity of his moveset and the fact that he doesn't have special attributes. I mean, he's quite slow sometimes, and his guard is not perfect either.
Hmm.
Waiting for Eve. Oh, let me send the link.
Yeah, I think it speaks to his creativity. Tarnowski's really the type of character you just got to get creative with how you apply those combos and switch up
Yeah,
your timing. That's how you catch people.
yeah. Big test anyway here against Eve.
And Eve says he likes that side wide to the head. Yeah, absolutely. When you land it, it's really nice. It's a good way to put your blade out there and interrupt some attacks.
Here we go. So Lance is gonna be on the left, and Eve on the right.
And yeah, you definitely got to watch out for Apostle. I did well there, but honestly, like really early in, I realized pretty quick, like I have to be locked in. I can't mess around with this guy. I have to just play a solid bar or I'm gonna lose. So yeah,
The,
he's tough.
does Lance need keyboard?
I think he does. Yeah,
Okay,
he does. I remember.
here we go. First time playing in my events. Hopefully he has a good connection.
He highlighted Sava for a little bit there. That was funny.
Yeah, a lot of people would want to play him, but he was promised
Leg
to be the
spike.
next. We'll see.
So Lange says there's lag spikes right now. I don't think Venator can actually see your chats in Parsec, by the way. So if you have a problem, try and ping him through Discord. Yeah, not a lot of people look at that chat specifically.
Yeah,
So
I don't even have I don't have the icon thing.
yeah, yeah, it's weird that it's still there. It's like a legacy thing from Arcade, I think, where you could actually see the chat and interact with it, but you can't very easily in this, if you can at all.
Yeah, I mean the connection should be good. He's from Russia, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe you can try
Yeah,
to
I mean my
reconnect.
ping's fine right now. Yeah. And I would suggest like I've had issues before too, and if you reset your router, sometimes that fixes it,
Yeah,
but it depends on what's causing it.
yeah. Eve's ping looks fine as well. Yours looks fine as well. Yeah,
I'll
he's.
try to do that with VPN. Oh,
Oh, I see. His ping should be around 70, something like that. That's what the Oken Tao usually get. I mean, obviously he could be from a different part of Russia. Russia is pretty big, but
yeah, I suspect somewhere in the west though. Yeah.
oh, 258 ping. Yeah, 258 ping. That must be, unfortunately, that must be on his end. Yeah, reset the router or something. That's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, I mean, I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but if if somebody's ping is spiking, it means that it's on their end. But if the ping is fine but they still get spikes, it means the host connection is doing bad.
Yeah. I think that tends to be the case at least.
I'm not sure if it's
Yeah, Eve
always
just
the
confirmed.
case, but from what I've seen, because it's like an
Eve
individual
says,
connection between you and the host. So somebody else can do really well, but somebody else can do poorly. Let me see his
mm-hmm.
ping. Oh,
Yeah,
83.
Eve
Okay.
confirms he has 50. So,
83 should be good now.
all right, let's hope so. Sometimes it subsides after a bit, depending. Okay, just long guard, Lance Connect if you're good to go.
I think he's just testing a little bit. Probably still getting spikes.
Yeah, yeah. If it's anything like what I've experienced, I get why. Sometimes it like you think you're fine and then you're not if it's inconsistent. Still lags, he says. Yeah, figured.
Here's what we're gonna do. Let's move on to the next fights. Reset your router and see if that fixes it. Yeah. I don't know if he's listening, but hopefully he is. All right. Yeah. Let's actually, since we have Eve in, so his next fight. His next fight would have been against you. Would you like to do that now?
Sure.
All right. Since I have you both here. He's on the left and you are on the right. Uh, Here we go. I don't know if he's listening.
Uh,
He's
we
listening.
did
Yeah.
ping him.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
so
reset
he
the
knows.
router and see how that goes. Great. Okay, let's do your fight now then.
Yeah, I'm sure Eve's down for that.
Yeah, I'm not planning to have a very long tournament, so you gotta keep it going. Eve on the left, you're on the right. So we're getting Getty from Eve. He had selected him earlier as well. Versus Barabash, this is always a pretty interesting fight. Oh, nice sidestep. Subu catches Eve in. The nice sidestep. It's probably one of the best sidesteps in the game. Not particularly fast, but very functional. And that's one of the things that I would like in moves that are not particularly fast. They need to have some sort of extra property, something that make them viable. Again, the same sidestep catches the arm. 3 for Subu. Eve needs to tighten up here, score some flags at least. The top 2 spots are very important because they grant a place in the winner's bracket. Eve scores his first. And also in 6 flags, a lot of comebacks could happen. Eve throwing very fast strikes. Getty is one of the fastest characters in the game when it comes to attacking. Oh, nice. Catches the arm there. Beautiful forward movement. 3-2. Oh, the thrust and then the follow-up, but Subu scored a cut of his own. 3-2. Oh, couple of cut, one cut too many there for Subu, and Eve managed to tighten up, and it's 3-3. Some feints, moving back. Goes low. Eve moving from side to side, and that's a very good strat with Getty. He has some good options from both sides. Nice push there. Not the most amazing side steps, but still good enough to do the job done if he manages to get that space. 4-3. Goes for the deceptive long guard cut. He's got more kills than you'd expect with that one. Subu a little bit more pragmatic. Throwing a couple of cuts, trying to bait even. Catches his arm in and then follows up quickly with another attack. And it's 4-4. And this match could potentially be the match for the top spot in the group. Which doesn't differ that much from the second place, but it will theoretically, nice push there from Eve, it will theoretically grant a more accessible opponent in the next round because number one, oh, nice chop to the face and good comeback there by Eve, 6-4.
GG.
A great battle, and because the top player in one group will face the second place player in the other group in the next round. Good. All right, let's move on to Group B until Lands is back. And the first fights that we have there are Info versus Pico, and then Oak versus me. So Info versus Pico is next. If Lands is ready, we're gonna do his fights after these ones. Come on.
Yeah, I felt the same way with Apostle Eve. It's like somewhere around midway through, I was like, okay, this guy is actually not messing around. Like, I can't just throw random things. I have to just play solid. So
Yeah, Pico is in.
India Lands Connect, if you didn't hear, we're postponing your fight for a little bit. So we'll get back to it very soon.
Waiting for Info to get in. Is she listening? No. just gonna wait 1 more minute.
Okay.
Okay. Info said she had some problems with Discord. I'm gonna
Oh.
tag her again. The app died. Alright, there she is. Alright, so info does not... Oh, what happened? Info does not really use sabers. She likes to use rapiers, but almost every time I've seen Info using a saber, she was more than competitive. With Laszlo and last time with Sam, actually. We might expect a Sam pick here from Info. Info on the left, Pico on the right. Oh, no Marie. Info. Okay. Alright, let's see Info's pick. Oh, Jan. Quite surprising, but maybe not that surprising considering that Jan can very well fight like a rapier with the
Yeah, that's
thrust
probably the thinking.
that he has. So why not?
Yeah, and he's not lacking in cutting options if Info wants to do that as well. Curious how this will match up against Sam.
Double.
I think Sam is one of the characters that can counter Yon's stab meta reasonably well. So I don't think it'll be as simple as just corkscrewing or anything like that.
Yeah,
I do consider Yon stronger overall, though.
I think Sam is one of those characters that can. It's a hard fight for pretty much everyone. And it's not easy to. Oh, nice 1-1. It's not easy to hit him He has a good
Hmm.
guard, a good stance. His attacks are also thrown, his neutrals, I mean, are thrown from range. And that's quite a pretty important factor in the game because regardless of the range or the speed and everything, some characters, um, what's the word? They commit. They commit a lot more with their attacks compared to others. So some
Hmm.
punches there. So Sam is one of those characters that can throw a lot of attacks without committing too much, making
Yeah.
him difficult to counter.
Oh,
Double.
another double. So far, they're pretty even, I would say. Info's just slightly ahead, but that can change quickly.
Oh,
Oh, should have swung there.
3-1. Oh, the
Oh,
thrust. You
another
don't
one
see
for
that
info.
landing very often. 4-1 for info. Another double.
Yeah, that was almost infos. Oh,
Oh,
nice lunge. That down forward B, you don't see that often, but it
yeah,
targets the hand right when Pekola goes for a move. Pekola needs to lock in and at least score some points here.
yeah.
Getting tired already, it looks like. That dash could have been his death if he wasn't careful. Going for a push. It works, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Taking some risks, but sometimes that can help you out.
If I think wanted to go for a grab.
Bit of cutting exchanges here. Info
Oh,
threatening a stab, but goes up then with a breaking long guard, presumably. That was well done.
that was a great win for info, and I have to say she played in a really unorthodox way. I mean, the way she timed certain attacks really caught Pico off guard
Hmm.
there, and that's a
Yeah.
very solid win. And this win might actually bring info to the next round. But we'll see. There's still a couple of matches to be played. Next fight is going to be um, Oak versus me. Oak is on form recently, and he's most likely going to use Laszlo. And his Laszlo is very difficult to beat. We'll see how it goes. He's taking
You
the left
disqualled
side.
now.
What?
No, Pekola, you're not. You still have some fights to go.
Yeah, still at least 2 fights. At least 2 fights. I'm gonna see Hassan in action.
Yeah, plenty of chances to move on, Pekola. Don't quit right now. Look at it this way. If you get good scores in your next fights, actually, you can get higher than you're probably thinking. Okay, Oak versus Venator. This is actually a really exciting fight. Especially the matchup that we're seeing. I think Oak is probably the favorite. He's a demon for anybody to fight. Under even the best circumstances. Like, even if Venator had Isabella, this would still be a tough one. But it's a Sabre fight. Relatively new character, although Venator's doing really well with Hassan. It's still potentially a tough one. That was a good interruption there, that X cut. As Oak comes in for a Y cut. Bit of a single tempo counter. That upcut is dangerous, actually. That hits with the false edge. Buries itself either in the body or the arm. Bunch of cuts from Venator. Goes for a deep lunge, which is often a good move, like targeting that area with Laszlo. But I think Oak knows that that same opening is also open for him. But it's a matter of not getting tagged just like that. I was going to say hitting the head, but the arm is also vulnerable when you start doing that, and Venator is able to snipe it. Hassan's speed actually proving reasonably competitive against Laszlo as far as the swings. He's definitely seen some improvement since the first time we've seen him. And it's especially his recovery into another attack, his flow. That's really where his speed comes into its own. But Laszlo is pretty quick himself. Hits a bit harder, I would say, a bit more of a glass cannon, whereas Hassan has HP, and he hits hard enough. He can kill you in one hit just the same as anyone else, but his damage isn't incredible like Laszlo's is. But it kind of balances out, because I think Hassan, with that HP advantage, can take a bit more than some other characters. So, in that sense, they're on equal footing. Their footsies are a little bit different. But Laszlo is probably a little more zippy with how he moves, especially in Oak's hands. Oak really likes moving in and moving out. Some feinting from both of them. Nice cut from Oak, but Venator with a beautiful counter, wrapping around. Those are some of my favorite cuts in the game. Those cuts that come around the head and strike either the arm or the head. Very good at threatening the guard. Venator with a deep lunge, and in that short burst there, he caught Oak off guard. Yeah, Hassan can match that movement speed with some of his moves. Bit of feinting from both of them. Real feint, too, from Venator. True feint, if you will, with the little magic dust, or whatever you want to call that stupid mechanic. But beautiful snipe from Oak. Very tight game between these two. Anybody's game still, but Oak looking at an advantage. And he's going to be wanting to capitalize on that to limit Venator's chances of getting a top spot. Venator's still doing well regardless of the outcome, but you never know. 4 flags could be better than 5 for Oak. Long term, as far as competing against him. And beautiful follow-up.
Nice.
I don't think Venator expected that.
Yeah, Laszlo's really good at catching you in your wind up when you're trying to attack. And that specific move that Oak does, which is the Y cut, and then immediately he follows up with the forward one. I mean, the side step to the side and then to the forward one, that usually catches you faster than your counter. Yeah, should have paid attention to that. Good fight. A win there for Oak.
Magic dust, you mean pocket sand? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to call that. That stupid sound effect dust thing.
We're gonna have 2 fights from Landsknecht. The first one is gonna be against Steve. Hopefully his connection is good now. I'm just gonna put that name. Here we go. Here we go. Alright, there he is.
Okay.
Here's Eve. Landsknecht's ping still doesn't look good. It's 126 now. It shouldn't be. But let's see if he can. And was still bad. Okay.
Yeah, he says he's willing to try though, so. Lands connect on the left, Eve on the right. Tarnowski against Gideon again, of course. It was bad on Eve's as well, yeah, so obviously I hate being that guy, but I think we've confirmed that it's on his end. Yeah. But let's see what you can do, Lance Connect. Just long guard when you're ready, because it doesn't look like you're doing too well right now. Alright. I guess he's gonna try seeing into the future, maybe play like the 5-skull AI.
Double.
Without the speed buff, but with the ingenuity of a player. Yeah, Eve is trying to play this very carefully, and I like that. He's not sort of trying to interrupt him when he's making a mistake. He's trying to just wait it out. And I think with Tarnowski, that's often what you want to do.
Nice. Good side step there from Eve.
Yeah. I do feel bad for Lance Connect, though, because this isn't how he usually plays. He's usually a very measured Tarnowski, and because he's dealing with lag, we're seeing the complete opposite of that.
Oh.
Good thrust, actually lands. Nice counter thrust. Eve making that thrust work a lot lately. It seems to be best used as a counter thrust from what I've observed. But I have seen him initiate with it too, upcut, yeah. When he transitions to that stance, he's much more vulnerable, especially if he's trying to wind up into something else. There's that brief window where he can punish him. Eve knows it, but there he actually whiffed on the punish. Oh, but that's it.
Yeah. Eve treated the fight seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And managed to score a 6-1 result. Let me ask them.
Yeah, let us know, because it doesn't look like you're having fun.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, what's the point?
Yeah.
I won't.
He won't forfeit? Okay.
Okay. Then you're next.
Legs were my friend.
Actually, legs, my friend. Against the Apostle.
Yeah, definitely. As Eve says, hope it gets fixed. I am the legs. Well, he's definitely enjoying himself more than I thought, so that's good.
The ping looks fine now, so maybe it's gonna be better.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Tested his, yeah. Set off Discord stream. Okay. Close everything else. Yeah, sometimes if you're downloading something or among other things, that's the culprit. Especially if your connection is like it's good, but it's not like amazing. If you have stuff running in the background, that can immediately ruin it.
Yeah, Landsknecht is on the right.
Okay. And Apostle looked pretty sharp, so his prospects are looking good as long as he keeps that up. Okay, yeah, he's throwing cuts, so you can go. He'll pause the game if there's a problem. Okay, saved it there. I think Apostle is a little unsure. He's showing some sportsmanship, but Landsknecht is throwing cuts, so he's as ready as he'll ever be. That's a stab. That actually can slip past auto guard if you're not careful.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a very difficult job to win a match like this, especially against a good player, but if you have a little bit of a method in in the attacks that you're going to throw, you might actually surprise your opponent a little bit and maybe get a couple of extra flags.
Yeah, and Landsknecht is trying to think moves ahead. He was talking about that, so you never know. Nice low cut. And I think that lag was what allowed that, well, partially allowed that to work. It was also good positioning by Apostle, I have to say. Oh,
nice.
the combinations.
Yeah, and by the way,
that's
Apostle,
where 5-stall and survival can get you sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just throwing cuts, and if you're a little impatient, sometimes it tags you, especially if it's a Tarnowski 5-stall.
Oh, nice. 3-1. I don't know if Apostle is listening, but if he is, try not to. So, nice. So Lance already said that he has lags, he has spikes and whatnot. So it's not like it's gonna get better. So if you're going for the attack, just go for it. Do not wait for 2. I mean, it's not ideal, but you might actually lose the fight just because you're giving your opponent space every 2 seconds.
Nice leg cut again. That's a good weapon in this situation, as long as you're very careful. Oh, nice.
Nice side step. 4-4.
Good parry riposte. Just waited for him to start moving and treat it like a normal fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's probably how you should do it. Nice. From Apostle. Sorry, not Apostle, Landsknecht. I got confused for a second because Apostle can also play Tarnowski, but I think he's doing bar for the whole tournament.
I mean, just checking if the opponent can move at the beginning of the round, I think that's fine, but after that is just kind of go for it.
Oh my gosh.
Now he has
what? Oh, yeah, that was that was rough timing, but good defense from Apostle, regardless of that.
Alright, keep going, guys.
Yeah, that's the danger of going low.
And Lanz actually wins this one. It was... it was a great fight, actually. A lot of twists and turns. And Lanz actually has an opportunity to keep moving in the tournament. Who knows? Maybe he's gonna get a little bit better. Sometimes, again, I may not be right, but I feel that sometimes when you play a little bit more on somebody's host, I mean, in a session, it gets better. I don't know how that works, but yeah. We're moving to the to Group B, and it's gonna be my fight against Info. Info did
Yeah.
great in the first round against Pico, and after that, Pico and Oak are going to clash. Here we go. Threw a couple of moves in advance. Uh,
Yeah.
oh, why is Pico joining? Pico, it's not your turn, man. Um, Actually, I think sometimes that's how Pico fights.
Yeah.
He cues a couple of combos and goes at it.
The
So I'm on the
bird's
left.
opening.
Yeah, and Info's on the right. I don't know about
And yeah,
Hassan.
I could see that.
Um, I found sometimes when you're trying to feint, he switches his stance, and you get
Hmm.
hit in that. I'm not sure if it's a bug or maybe just some character thing that I haven't really figured out so far.
Yeah, that's a good question. Bunch of cuts from Venator, but good defense from Info. There's the quirk. Yeah, he might be pretty vulnerable to those sorts of moves.
Yeah.
Like, I know even, like, I was messing with Survival. He does have some counters to stabs, but it always seems a little sketchy when Marie starts double lunging at you or Marta does her thing. If you set up the counter just right, you know, you can counter him just like any other Sabre can, but it's can be more challenging. I also found the flow of his cuts does help with beating the blade and closing in, but you gotta get to that point first where you can hit. Good blade beat from Info. Good attempt by Venator there to snipe the hand after that sequence, but doesn't quite land it. Deep lunge, nice exchange. Info again playing salt. The stab doesn't quite work. Venator might have been too close, or Info might have been ready to stop it. Because Info was doing a little like long guard stuff, and that thrust, which kind of counts as a cut, so who knows. When you land that stab, though, it lands. But Info's got a weapon that's probably even more dangerous and is more versatile because of its cancel ability. Although that is hard to pull off. The kinds of things I'm talking about are harder to pull off if you're not on your own host. Good snipe there from Venator. Hassan's down back Y move is cool. Yeah, it does look cool. Oh, Info just going ham. That's the new one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's quite similar to Jan's, but it's slower.
Yeah. Oh. My kind of move, Eve says.
This one.
Oof. Venator demonstrating it mid-fight. That's a double. Nice lunge. Another lunge. And Venator with good pressure eventually gets the kill. 3-3. Both players are not really Sabre players, but Venator has been playing Hassan a lot more lately, so. And he has also previously done well with Jan. He definitely can play Sabre. And Info, I think, could be relying a little bit too much on the corkscrew. Oh, grab attempt or something. We saw that a few times, actually. Info does like grabbing, but against Hassan, that might be pretty tough to pull off. Oh, good blade beat.
That's
Yeah, Info's
down.
switching it up nicely. Double. That left hook, yeah. Oh, he said another double. That's the... I love that cut that Venator just tried there. It's so nice when you interrupt someone with that, but if you gotta time it just right. Nice from Venator.
Yeah, GG. That was
Taking
actually a
the
very
round.
tough fight. Info very surprising with thrusts and cuts and tempo changes. Quite difficult. Right, so let's see Pico versus Oak now. And this is quite an important fight in the economy of the group. Because if Oak wins this one, he will have a very good chance of winning the group. And Pico needs some flags because he's a little bit behind compared to everybody else. Here we go. I wonder what character we're gonna see from Pico, if he's gonna go Sam again or somebody else.
Yeah. Sam is a solid pick in general, but sometimes he struggles against the sheer power of Laszlo.
Pico on the left, Oak on the right.
But as we were saying, he can beat anybody if you use him right. Gideon, okay. I've seen him play Gideon,
Yeah.
so that makes sense. Okay, this one has the potential to be very action-packed. I'm sure Eve is happy to see the Gideon. Fainting there and a double. Might see a lot of those. Oak taking a few risks here, but now nice back and forth. And that back Y is so fast. The moment you give your hand to Oak, he can just take it right off or snipe it. Risks there from Pekla, but it works out nicely. Sometimes you gotta do that. Just switch it up a little bit and catch your opponent. Oh, the hand.
Again, another double.
Yeah. Pekla is definitely hoping to win this one. That probably is going to be quite important for him going forward. Just get as many points as possible, and that'll be obviously by winning. Thrust cancel there. He's canceling right as the point starts moving forward, which I haven't seen a lot from Gideon players. Oh, just had a measure there. Yeah. That's what Oak is good at. If you're just slightly wrong with your distance management, he's gonna punish you every single time. And he does that with Calc as well, not just Laszlo.
Double.
Ooh, a bunch of cuts from Pekla. Kind of out of range. Yeah, he almost got punished again.
Double.
And I think you've mentioned how Oak plays. That was nice from Pekla, but how Oak plays, like even when he's ahead, he really doesn't change anything. He's still playing the same way, still trying to keep it clean. Really like that about how he plays.
Oh, nice.
Oh, went for
Yeah.
Pekla did a dash, I think.
What Oak is doing really well is that he now has a very solid system of follow-ups. So everything that he throws, he has a nice forward cut there by Pico. He has a good system of follow-ups. I mean, everybody has that, especially players with a lot of experience. Oh, there you go. 6-3, but he has a pretty complex one. I mean, he's not using the same back Y for everything. For each setup that he has a specific follow-up for that, and he has a couple of them. He has like 4 or 5 follow-ups, and that's why people are getting caught because they don't expect that particular follow-up. Unless you really study his game and know, okay, after this he throws that, because he's actually quite religiously throwing the same follow-ups after certain combos. You're gonna get punished. Okay, we're moving back to the first Group A, but before we start the last round of group stage, we're gonna have a quick look at the number of points. So Eve has 12 points and he's number 1 in the group. Subu has 10 and he's second. Apostle has 8 and Lansknecht has 7. So the group is still open, but Eve is probably quite close to direct qualification to the next round. In the other group, so Oak is first, Info is second, I am third, and Pico is last with 5 points. So it's gonna be a little bit of a battle in the last round as well. So here we go. Let's start with the last round. First one is Lansknecht versus Subu. So a reminder, top 2 qualified to the winner's bracket. Is it Lansknecht? Yeah, on the left. And the third player in the group will qualify to the lower bracket. The fourth player will be eliminated directly. So Lans versus Subu. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit better. Lans takes left. Subu takes right side. Tarnavsky versus Barabash as expected. Yeah, so considering that Lance has some connection issues and he has acknowledged them and said that he's going to play like that, so the only thing that we're going to do is just check if he can fight at the beginning of the round, and after that is open season. Because at the end of the day, it's also not very fair for the other player to constantly stop his strategies or tempo or even concentration just for the other player. So Lance is completely aware of that, and we'll see how it goes. Subu's being careful here, moving back and forth, trying to not get caught. Oh, and he gets the first flag. I'm not really sure what Subu's game plan is here. Maybe trying to tire Lance next out. Double. Oh, nice forward cut. Second kill here for Subu. 3. Four now. This could prove quite decisive, considering oh, the other fight. 5th flag here for Subu. He's respecting Lan's ability to surprise, so he's just trying to play this clean. And that's it. 6-0. And it's a very high chance that Lanz will not move to the next round.
Good game.
But we'll have to see. Yeah, Lanz is eliminated. That's unfortunate because he couldn't play at his potential because of the connection issues. But really, thank you for being brave and competing despite the connection issues. And we're looking forward to seeing you next event. And now, even Apostle. So this one is going to be quite interesting because Apostle needs a win at if he gets a win at 3 points difference, he will go over even in the group ranking. So a 6-3 would be ideal for Apostle. Let's see who's fighting on what side. Apostle on the left, Eve on the right.
You'll watch the stream to see how your fights looked. All right.
Apostle is still qualified to the next round, but right now he's on a lower bracket spot, and obviously he would like to keep his spot. I mean, to gain a spot in the winners bracket because that would guarantee more chances to win the tournament and more play time. So he has that, at least he has it guaranteed, so he does not have to worry too much about it's about that, because in some situations like this, in some systems like this, sometimes you're thinking, should I just go for the basic and just try to make what I need to qualify further, or just go for it and risk it to get a higher position? Apostle is taking left side, Eve is taking right side. I'm gonna be right back.
Alright, no problem. Okay, Apostle with, is that Samuel? Yeah, interesting. He wants to play really solid, it looks like. Possibly some lag, looks like we're back in it. I think Apostle is having a couple spikes here or there, but nothing like what Lance is going through. Nice, taking the hand straight off. Apostle might surprise Eve here with some unorthodox Samuel play, or he might play really solid, and it might prove difficult for Eve to actually make offense happen. He might have to get more creative. Obviously, he is still the favorite. Oh, and there's the hand coming off. But Apostle is definitely a competent Sabre player. And right now, it's just a matter of which place he's gonna get in the rankings. Doesn't want Eve to get another flag. Trying some things out, it looks like. Ooh, he's gotta watch that stamina now. Eve's gonna pounce the moment he makes a big mistake or that stamina is too low. But so far, again, very measured Gideon play, back and forth, still applying pressure and going for that leg cut when he noticed his opponent was passive there. Good try from Eve, but it doesn't quite land thanks to that leg void. Going low again. That actually is a very dangerous attack that Samuel has, but Eve can answer with a low cut of his own, which covers just as much distance, and is basically just as threatening even if it doesn't kill. It's got a follow-up right after that's dangerous. There's a chop, but again, Samuel's quick transition to guard allowed him to stay in the fight a little bit longer, but it was just delaying the inevitable. It looks like Eve with just the superior initiative, the superior pressure, but he's still playing in a very measured way. Whereas I think Apostle is kind of like a fish out of water. And I don't mean that to disrespect him or anything. I just think he's not playing his main, so he's kind of a little unsure how to proceed here. But maybe he's been practicing with Samuel. I don't want to assume too much. I just think his borrow was much better. But, like we said, he still qualifies regardless. It's just a matter of where at this point, though, he can't be in the top two. For sure. And Eve with a nice mix-up there, that feint into a lunge. That's a dangerous move for anybody. And I think Apostle tried to punish it a little too early. Good, again, going low. It's just, even if that move doesn't land, it applies pressure because he's forced to respond to it. He can't just ignore it. And then Eve can sort of think ahead once that response comes out of how to proceed further. And I think Eve's arm did a weird shake or something, his left arm. It didn't affect anything, of course, but it just looked a little weird for Gideon. The leg voids. Eve with a side saddle push there from Apostle. Nicely done. Eve actually has not managed to land a push this time. He's been using that a lot of Gideon, but just hasn't found the opportunity this time. Sam can probably respond pretty quickly. Nice sidestep that was very slick from Eve. And Eve definitely ought to be happy with that performance because he is first place in the group with that, having a perfect score.
Alright, I am back.
But Apostle, like we said,
Yeah, go ahead.
Eve won it. It was 6-2.
Yeah. Alright, so Eve wins their group. Subu takes second place. Apostle gets third, so he qualifies to the next round, but on the lower bracket. And now we're gonna see what's gonna happen in Group B. First fight is gonna be Oak versus Info. Info very much close to qualification. She has 10 points. Oak has 12. So a win for Info here might even get her the first place in the group. But at this point, I think the focus should be on qualifying directly to the next round. And a good number of flags here against Oak might bring that. see. Pico is in a pretty tough spot. Um, so what he basically needs to do, it's either he beats me at at 0, or Info or Oak beat each other at 0. So pretty difficult, but not necessarily impossible. Here we go. So Info on the sorry, Oak on the left and Info on the right. Here we go. Yeah, so it looks like Info sticks with Jan, and I think that's a pretty good choice because she did great so far using him. And Jan is actually quite a counter to Laszlo. Laszlo struggles in many areas against Jan.
Oh, my parsec has
Crashed.
frozen. I'll just watch the YouTube stream.
Okay. Alright, Info gets the first kill. Goes with a couple of cuts. Oak retaliates with a couple of his own. Info trying to bait Oak in. And that's the thing with Info these days. Sometimes she goes with a couple of cuts and then retreats, and you don't expect that. Sometimes you're thinking, oh, maybe there's a problem. So that oh, there you go. That's exactly what happened there. Just continues striking, and I think Oak did not expect that. He was probably preparing a counter. Oh, and a cork. 3 now for Info. Oak needs to tighten up. Oh, try to punch there was a little bit too close. She was a little bit too close. And Oak managed to get his first flag. Second one now. After Info went in with a series of cuts.
Yeah, it happens when I alt tab. Sometimes it freezes.
Oh, that was a beautiful
I think
counter.
it's a parsec bug.
Again, the forward X attack. Quite an underrated
Nice.
move for both Jan and Bara. The cut usually goes over. And it's 5-2 right now. It's quite surprising. And it's a double. But I did expect a tough fight here for Oak.
Yeah.
Still not over though, and Oak has seen worse.
Yeah. I'm obviously very delayed, but I will say that this is also precisely the matchup Oak does not like. Like, this is probably his worst one, so. Very good pick from Info here, I would say.
Oh, tried the lunge move a little bit too slow, and Oak punished it, and now Oak scored his 4th flag. Oh, tried the grab there, and Oak now came back, and it's 5-5.
Nice. Yeah, Oak's not just a precise player, he's very good at adapting to a situation.
And honestly, for me, this is the worst result that could have possibly happened. Considering the number of flags. The worst result. 6-5. Because both of them got a significant number of flags, but props to Info though. Managed to still win a fight where Oak was coming back, and Oak has 17 points. Info has 16, and I have 10. So I need to win this fight in order to get a place in the winner's bracket, and I need to win it at least 3 points difference. So the mission has become a lot harder than I expected. Um, Pico still has a chance of
All right, I did disconnect, but I'll join
yeah.
when you get the link out.
Pico still has a chance of qualifying further here. He needs to beat me at 0. And in 6 flags fights, anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Gets a couple of quick flags, and then you start panicking, and before you know it, you're done.
Mm-hmm. Eve was really enjoying that fight, I can see.
Let's get Pico in. Yeah, Info proved to be a formidable player in this group. And nobody was writing her off, but probably everyone was thinking that she would struggle. And actually, everybody else struggled against her. It was quite the opposite. Because even my win against her was very tough to get. Pico takes left. I am taking right. Oh, a sun mirror.
All right, yeah, everything's working again. I think it's just a parsec bug that I was having. Hopefully Pekla is good to go. Yeah. He was just waiting, I think. Pekla engaging in a proper duel, so to speak, with the same weapon, same character. Oh, nice. That was like a deep upcut. I think that's his forward B. And
No,
that is
it's
an
sidestep
angle.
fly.
Okay. Well, that's an angle he's very exposed to. That whole side, actually, oftentimes. Good hit there. At this point, Pekla is hoping for that consolation victory. It would be pretty huge to beat Venator here, even if he didn't qualify. It would still be an achievement. Back and forth there. Pekla going ham. Good attempt there by Venator to sort of punish that. Now he's getting tired, though. Pekla with a deep lunge. Now is the perfect time to do it, when Venator just couldn't respond effectively. He was focused on managing his stamina. Probably more than anything right there. Nice parry there from Pekla. Cancels and feints there from Venator. That's a double. Pekla's doing really well so far. I don't think I've seen him play Hassan. He's probably tried him out sometimes, though. He definitely seems to know the moveset some. His stamina usage is something we gotta get used to still. Yeah, it's definitely not the... His stamina's not the best. Yeah, I can say from experience, this is a pretty fun mirror, too. At least in my opinion. Yeah, now that he's faster. Before they were mid at the best of times because his speed wasn't great. Now it's right where it should be. Oh, it's a double. Took a hit to the body, but still able to land that swing to the head because Venator wasn't able to defend himself. Nice plunge from Venator. That's a very dangerous move in this mirror. Actually, a lot of characters struggle against it if they're not careful. It's a good tempo switch as well, and a way for him to reach out way further than you think he can reach. Pekla with some cut. Oh, and there it is again. I think Pekla did a dash too, so that was perfect from Venator.
GG. That was a nice Hassan mirror there. So it's 6-3, and I think I have to check because I think the last criteria. Yeah, yeah. Me and Info have been on. So we were in perfect points and points difference, and everything was down to the last criteria, and the last criteria is actually a direct matchup. So that's what split it.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually got the second place, and Info got the third place. So she will be playing in the lower bracket, but that was very a very narrow margin. So yeah, once again, let me show you the rankings of groups and then the next matchups. So Group A, Eve and Subu move on to the winners bracket. Apostle moves on to the lower bracket. Oki and I take top and second place, and Info takes third, very close to me. I mean, we had the same number of points, but lost the direct matchup,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll continue in the lower bracket. Now, in the winners bracket, we're gonna have Eve versus me. So in the winners bracket, we're gonna move to 7 points, 7 flags, and it's also going to be best of one. So Eve versus me, Oak versus Subu, and the loser of these fights are going to fight Apostle and Info in the lower bracket. More specifically, the loser between me and Eve will fight Info, and the loser between Oak and Subu will fight Apostle. So without further ado, let's dive into the final stage. So the first fight is Eve versus me. Eve so elimination. Eve is left and I am right. Let's quickly change to 7 flags. It's going to be a little bit more competitive now. Send him a link. And after that, we're going to have another derby between Oak and Subu. Going to be pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no easy fights in the winners bracket.
Here we go.
Because you didn't have 1 point. Yeah, it came down to the wire. But that's what happens sometimes. And that's why we say, like, even if you're losing, you gotta score as many points as you can, because that can make a difference. in the moment it can seem kind of trivial, but sometimes just getting that one lucky flag is all you need, as long as your performance otherwise is good. Nice back and forth there, but Eve takes it. Something that Venator's obviously going to be looking out for is the fact that Gideon can easily match Hassan's speed, if not exceed it sometimes, and that Gideon has that power behind his cuts. And as far as HP, Gideon's got that too, so it's Hassan really has to be careful with how he approaches this. But that was a nice lunge. I'm not exactly sure who has the edge in this matchup, though they're kind of similar in some ways with how they hold their swords and how they approach the fight with the passing footwork. So it's a really cool looking matchup so far. Eve looking to set something up, I think. Good attempt at a counter from Venator, and that A cut there that Eve likes throwing. Wow, we have those tie understand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because otherwise there'd be no way of resolving the tie. Although a way you could do it is some type of duel to decide as well. But I do prefer, especially for the sake of time, the other stats. But, you know, in some formats, it's nice to have a duel to decide who moves on, who doesn't. Series of cuts there from Venator. They're not quite reaching Eve. Eve is very composed of Gideon. You'd think because of Gideon's guard, it'd be easier to hit him than it actually is. He's very sharp with those footsies. That chop nearly landing. And I like how Eve's aiming it too. He's aiming at the left arm, and that's where Hassan again really struggles to block. A good push from Venator. Making it even. Hassan really steps forward when he pushes, and good pressure from Venator, just going ham with those cuts. And sometimes like, Hassan has this one dash move that really threatens to break through, especially if your guard from that specific angle is questionable.
Yeah, it's called guard breaker actually. That move. It's kind of
yeah, it it does exactly. Yeah. Going for the head with that stab. Yeah, Venator's been kind of struggling to land that, but I think a lot of that is how the opponent is moving. Going low, nice. That's not a move you see often.
Yeah, it actually changes depending on the distance. If you're close, it's gonna go to the leg. If you're far, it's gonna go to the arm. Quite interesting.
I see. Interesting. Yeah, because most of the sabers, it's one set kind of height that the cut will go to when they go low. Although sometimes you might like hit the hand if the hand just happens to be low, but usually it's a set height. So Eve actually really struggling with this matchup. He's still in the fight, don't get me wrong, he's been doing well, but Venator's just been applying a lot of pressure. Good high-low tactics of Hassan too.
I can hear Eve saying, "I'll take it." Double.
Yeah. Good cancels by both of them, moving back and forth. Oh, there's the guard breaker again. I think Gideon struggles to block that one, especially in his right foot forward stance. Left foot forward, his blade is closer, so it might do better, but don't quote me on that, Eve, if that's not true. That's up to you to figure out. I don't know. I'm just... Oh, take the hand right off. The moment that they started kind of binding their blades together, Hassan just went for it. Oh, wow. That was nicely done.
I was
and he
actually,
points at him, points down.
yeah, I was actually thinking if that move will ever work, and it actually did. Quite a specific situation, but it did. That's quite an interesting move. A good fight. Yeah. That's what happens usually with a new character. Sometimes you have to play a little bit against him because certain things that he might do might surprise you. But yeah,
Hmm.
Eve will continue fighting in the lower bracket, so he's still not very far away from climbing back. And now we're gonna see Oak versus Subu. Most likely, we're gonna see Laszlo versus Barabash here, which is also again another close fight. Here we go, 7 flags. I think it's gonna be a very uh, close fight here. Oak on the offensive with a couple of attacks. Goes with the VA combo there. I haven't seen that in some time. It used to be quite a strong combination back in the day. I remember one fight with the Zero Nu. He absolutely destroyed me with that. I couldn't block it whatsoever. Double. Again, with his quick sidestep B. Usually a move to assess range or to assess the opponent's reaction. Here we go. What's also very interesting about Oak is that even when he closes the distance, despite Laszlo having some of the fastest moves in the game, some of the fastest neutrals actually, he still uses the actual fastest moves he could use. So that's knowing your character to a T. Just pure efficiency. Nice tap. Cut the arm there. Again, a nice sidestep. Oak didn't want to risk just standing there and block it. Plunge, sidestep. Oh, offensive there from Oak. Subu gets the double there. I think Oak was a little bit too eager to continue the attack. 2-1. Oh, caught him there. So end goes low, and I think maybe Subu tried to do something where the cut or the lunge was a little bit too deep for the guard, and again goes low. 4-1. Oh, beautiful cut to the leg there from Subu. 4-2. And a nice counter there. Subu has tightened up a little bit. 2 quick flags. And it's 4-3, and it's not looking that bad anymore. Nice one. 5-3. goes again low. 6-3. So Oak has managed to recover the difference that he had earlier. The damage will be a little bit disheartening here for Subu, but has nothing to lose. Push for the side step. This time Oak stands his ground. I think his placement was a little bit better, so he trusted his brother and goes for a nice side step to the head. 7-3. Beautiful performance from Oak. And he continues his journey here in the tournament, and we're gonna meet again. And there's actually a possibility to meet again after, so we might have a lot of fights today. All right, so Subu's gonna go to the lower bracket, and we'll face Apostle, but not right now. We're gonna wait for one more fight. We're gonna do Eve versus Info now. And Eve has to be very careful because Info did great in the group stage. Had the same number of points as I had, and just 1 point behind Oak, and managed to defeat both Oak and Pico. So Info is definitely the surprise of this tournament. Here we go. Eve takes the left. Info takes the right. Especially consider that that Info might pick Jan again, and that would actually make sense. Here we go.
Yeah, good game, Monk.
Eve is left, Info is right.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Yeah. Yeah, Eve sticks with Getty. He probably knows this matchup quite well, and I still favor him considering the experience. But Info has done great. Oh, nice quick counter there from Eve, but nice reflex from Info to block that. Oh, nice chop again. Info blocks it. Blocks it again. Blocks the attack. Solid guard there from Jan and from Info. Because in order for your guard to work like that in those exchanges, you need to really stand still. Oh, goes for the cork to finish it.
Back. Info doing well so far. Throwing some cuts in there too, it looks like.
Yeah. Goes ham again. This time Eve punishes it with a quick side step. Eve is in a pretty uncomfortable position, I have to say right now, because he topped his group, lost, and now facing the prospect of the tournament in a pretty difficult spot, which is the lower bracket. 2-1. He has to use his experience here. But Info is staying calm.
Oh, double. Yeah, the play there was either to hit the head or move back when that feint started coming out.
Info just went for it and threw a stab to the belly. It's actually a pretty good move there because Getty's quite exposed to the belly. 3-1.
See what Eve can do to adapt. This is a very different sort of fight from the previous ones. Oh,
Me
nice.
too. I think Getty has a lot of good attributes, which is he's very fast. He has power. He has a
Mm-hmm.
pretty good variety in his move set. He has a good footwork. I mean, walking speed. But the problem is
Mm-hmm.
he has some glaring weaknesses, which is
Mm-hmm.
he struggles with range. He gets hit pretty easily compared to some other characters on the roster. I mean, his guard is not
Yeah.
trash, but he is getting hit easier than others
Yeah.
because of the switch, because of the when he switches the stance, because that's his offensive stance. Nice one again to the
Nice.
body, 4-3. So you
Yeah.
got to, and especially when you're fighting somebody that knows these things, it becomes an uphill battle.
Yeah. Nice counter thrust. That's probably what he needs. Just some way to put the blade in the way and close and just
Yeah,
go ham.
yeah. But as I said, Eve's experience is now showing, and he
Grab
made good use
attempt.
of the tools. Oh, beautiful grab. And Eve for the first time in control of this fight. That's what's one of Info's usual one of the things that she struggles with. She starts really well and then she can't really finish the same way. Maybe the other player's experience is taking over. Maybe choking out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe maybe the opponents have made the reads. Who knows? But that's something that I noticed that typically happens. And there you go. And Eve managed to use his experience, as I said, and wins this fight 7-4. Info, thank you very much. That was a great performance from you overall. Fought the best and even beat some of the best. But the road ends here, and Eve moves on to the semifinals, and now we're gonna get Subu versus Apostle. The first fight of the tournament, actually. We'll see if Apostle is going to take revenge. And after that, it's going to be me versus Oak, and the next semifinal. Apostle. Yeah. A little bit of a joke, and I hope neither Info or Pico take offense. Um, More than once they had these opportunities and these called chokes. And I remember one fight between them, and it was like down to the last flag, and and they wanted to. It looked like they wanted to let the other guy, the other guy win, but it didn't happen. It was a pretty long flag. I can't remember who actually won it in the end, but it kind of felt that way because it was a little bit of a meme with Pico as well, choking some great fights. I don't know if Apostle is here. You seen the commentary? No.
Mostly just an experience thing. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Info
I
likes to
think so.
experiment, or not necessarily likes to. It's just you don't know stuff
Yeah.
because you're not familiar with the character. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and when the fight goes for a longer time, and that's why the 7 flags is usually a good measurement of that because most veteran players or elite players are able to recover differences in this with this particular. Oh, there he is. Score.
Excellent.
Here we go. Subu takes the left side. The Apostle takes the right side. 7 flags this time. Apostle is actually going for Tarnowski. Is this game played on keyboard? Yeah, it can also be played on keyboard. Yeah. Actually, some of the best players are keyboard users. The precision of the input and the freedom of can give you a little bit of an edge. I remember, I think I gave this example before. I used to play on keyboard a lot back in the day, and when I first got Mortal Kombat 11 on PC, I tried playing both keyboard and controller, and the keyboard felt a little bit more lenient and faster when, in terms of inputs. 2-1 here. Double. Another double. I'll be right back. Two now for Subu. Double. Yeah, Apostle is struggling to land something. Oh, push there. Oh, what an interesting flag there. A lot of defense ends in a double. Subu tried to push, missed the push. Apostle pushed him in return, missed the follow-up. Subu counterattacked immediately and still couldn't get the kill. Subu pressured here, another double. Oh, a grab that came pretty unexpectedly. Five to 2 here for Oh, nice combinations there from Apostle, and he scores the third flag. That was beautiful. Again, tried to grab. Oh, and again, 6-3. Oh, the follow-up did not land there, but it was a double. Apostle needs 4 more. Not impossible. He needs to stay composed. Try to grab there, and Subu punished it instantly. 7-3. Apostle, thank you very much for competing. Great flags throughout. And Subu moves on to the semifinals. So at this point, we have 4 players left. Me and Oak in the winners, Subu and Eve in the lower bracket. Anybody can be champion. Not too many fights to be had. And yeah, let's move on with the semi-final.
Yeah, good game, Apostle. You played really well. That's why I was going in for grabs, actually. I found it was just a good way to catch you when you were trying to throw swings. Otherwise, you were actually really solid against the pressure I was trying to apply and even pushing me back a lot. So I just wanted to make the fight messy and start grabbing and pushing. And thankfully, that worked out.
The first fight, so we actually met in the in group stage, and actually the other fight is also going to be between 2 players that met in group stage. The first fight was won by Oak 6-4. We'll see if this one goes differently. The winner of this fight will qualify directly to the grand final and will have 2 lives. And we'll wait for his opponent to join in. The winner of this tournament will also get 2 Sabre points, and the runner-up will get 1.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of rematches, actually. Oak with a nice combo, that Y cut into the snap cut, lunge from Venator. It's something they both can do, that lunge. A bit different, but it's the same sort of idea. Yeah, Oak has just been doing amazing this tournament. He's definitely performing at his best right now, so this would be a tough one for Venator. Snap cut there. Yeah, Oak is really good at landing that when you least expect it. You think you're able to block it. You move back, but then it snipes the hand. And he can also use it to interrupt your attacks. Good try. Oh.
Because sometimes you do the push if you press 2 buttons at once. And
right. Yeah. Yeah, happens to the best of us.
It's okay.
Oh, that combo is so deceptive. It's one of those things, like, you have to see it coming, you have to know about it, and have seen it a lot to know exactly what you need to do. But even then, Oak will find a way to land it. Because he'll switch the tempo on you when you think you've got his number, and then out of nowhere your hand flies off. And I'm sure he's got that confidence boost from beating me, so... And quite convincingly, too. He did really well there. Then attempting to wrap around, then goes for the lunge. But Oak is in very good shape right now. Oh, similar combo. And again, that tempo switch, catching Venator. And it's also a very forcing combo if he's close to you, because the second cut can actually reach around your guard. It's very good pressure here from Oak, very precise. Going for a lunge, Venator, but Oak is distancing that perfectly, and he might be looking at a flawless win here. Yeah, the game is really good. I highly recommend it. Especially if you like swords, you like sword fighting, martial arts, any of that stuff. Yeah, this game's for you. And it's one of those games where there is a lot of complexity to it at the highest level, but it's also easy to get into. The combos aren't super hard to pull off, you don't have to memorize a lot. So it's noob friendly in a way, but in another way it isn't because there's a lot of really good players. So at the highest level, it's tough to master, but highly recommend trying it. If you practice, you'll definitely get better as you go.
Yeah, it was a very, very tough match. And I think it feels like it's a very tough matchup as well. I can't really find openings. Um, perhaps that um, perhaps that lunge sometimes works, but the problem is that if you're trying to counter him, he's always going to be faster
Hmm.
on retreat with his attack and his
Hmm.
movement. So if you're trying to chase him
Yeah.
down and try to counter it with your fast attack, it's still pretty hard. I don't know. I need to find something else that works. It was very difficult. Um, Oak is now in the grand final, and we got Subu versus Eve. Subu takes the left side, Eve taking the right side. Another rematch. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he has some sort of baits that could be used, because that's what you usually need to have when you don't have the speed.
Hmm.
It's quite. Maybe we're gonna ask Pico to find something. He's the mad scientist. You're already in, so we're getting Eve. Here we go. Subu takes left, Eve takes right. The first match between them was won by Eve. Let's see if it's gonna be the same here. Oh, first one. The first sorry, I forgot what I wanted to say. Oh, I wanted to say that whoever wins here will have to fight again. And probably again after if he wins. Two now. Oh, oh, nice sidestep there. I think he tried to do something, but pretty tight match here. Eve with the pressure. Subu's trying to play also a tight game, find the counter. Getting a little bit tired. Eve is putting pressure on him. And that sometimes can wear him mentally because you're probably expecting for the other guy to throw something and that attack does not come when you're thinking. Oh, this time he manages to win the exchange. 3-2. Subu taking control for the first time. Oh, nice cut there from Getty. It wasn't too fast, but still got the job done. A two-piece combo there from Subu. I guess the fourth flag there. Playing a very tight game. He doesn't bite into Eve's feints, but this time he got caught. 4-4. Oh, tried the sidestep there. Sorry, the snap cut. And gets the cut immediately after. 5-4. Eve takes control of the fight again. After a brief moment of Subu's and then goes with the low cut immediately after it touches the guard. 6-4, and Eve might win it here. Subu again playing a tight game. This is where Subu becomes the more dangerous, when he's 3 flags away from winning and the other player is 1 flag away. I've seen him turn a lot of fights like this. Oh, and he gets the cut there. You don't see Subu with his back against the wall much, but in this fight, Eve's pressure was putting him there. But Subu still felt comfortable. He wasn't overthrowing even in that position. Oh, goes low. Subu throwing a little bit. And he gets the second, and I don't know if it's gonna be a commentator curse or commentator's blessing, because I said that Subu usually comes back after. Oh, the thrust barely missed. He's also a little bit unlucky today in this fight. Very, very close fight. A classic already in the making. Feint there from Subu, feint from Eve. Eve moving from side to side, trying to look for an angle. Subu says, I can't let you get close. Push! Oh, wow, that was a perfectly timed push. And Eve wins it 7-6. A very tough match for both. Congratulations. And Eve, we're gonna give him a minute.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah, Subu, thank you very much. 4th place today, not bad.
No problem.
Not bad. Let's see if Eve is ready or wants.
Put all your chips into that push. Yeah, if I was ready for it, I gotta figure those pushes out. I don't know. It just lands out of nowhere, but that was good. No, you did great with that push. Obviously, I did something wrong there, so nicely done. It came down to the wire.
So this is the lower bracket final. I managed to win the first fight against Steve, but I'm pretty sure he's going to come with a different game plan here for this one. Maybe even a different character. Because the first one, he didn't like the way Getty was responding to certain attacks. So we might see a change here. The winner of this fight will face Oak. Yeah, Barabash. Probably a character that is better equipped defensively for this fight.
Hmm. Yeah, Eve plays a really mean Barabash too. He doesn't like using Bara against me in the mirrors, that's why we didn't see that, but his Barabash is really good. And he does like throwing those side steps just like I do, so. Going with that lunge, that's actually a decent idea in this matchup, I would say. He's definitely been watching Oak's fights and trying to come up with stuff. And there's that trick shot in the back Y. I taught Eve that one. It was in some spar I showed him how you can cancel the trick shot into a back Y or a back X. I think back Y tends to be better, but there are some situations where back X can be better as well. And speaking of, that might have been the play against that push. I'm not exactly sure, but Eve caught me when I wasn't quite ready for it, so yeah, well played from him. That was what it came down to. It's just throwing stuff that the other guy doesn't expect. And it was definitely a risk, as Eve said. If I was ready for that push, it would have looked very different.
Oh, nice.
Nice exchange there. Eve with the pressure. And I gotta say to Eve, too, like, his pressure, like, I think people tend to think of Eve as a sort of measured fighter. I don't want to say defensive. That's definitely not quite it. But he's a very patient fighter, even when he's attacking. And we saw that there when he was fighting me. And I just felt like I was getting suffocated because Eve was doing such a good job of that. So I needed to, like, when I was making that comeback, I needed to find those moments to just throw cuts out there at just the right time to force him back. And it was working. And then the last flag came, and it was just, yeah, it was super intense. It was definitely top level Sabre play on both of our parts. Anyway, let's focus on this fight here because it's, I'm sure, equally intense for these fighters here. Wow, Venator taking the handoff there after a switch up. He went low, and it maybe he thought he had an opening, or maybe it just went past the auto guard. That can happen too. Regardless, the hand came right off as Venator followed that up. Nice upcut. I think Eve has figured some things out. Definitely doesn't like Gideon in this matchup. I think he mentioned something about that. Although he was testing it the first time, he wasn't sure. But now I think he's made up his mind as far as that. Nice sidestep. When you use it at just the right time, it actually is a good move. And I love, yeah, what Eve is doing there, feinting that sidestep. Because it is such a forcing move and an explosive one that your opponent might just react to it preemptively to try and stop it or to try and punish it. And that can be an opportunity to punish their attempted punish. Nice double. Long guard from Venator. That's what he does with a lot of characters, actually. Sometimes keeps you guessing, keeps them prepared if a stab's coming. Although you don't have to worry about stabs as much with Bar. Hassan does have some nice moves from long guard, so it is a good idea to just be ready to throw those at any time. And as long as you're careful, it isn't so easy for the opponent to just blade beat it. Yeah, again, that deep lunge. Eve says I can do that too. A little bit of a different move, but same principle. And there it is. Oh, I thought he was done, but he recovered. That happens to the best players. I tell you, like you think you've got someone on the ropes and they're tired, but it's just they recover at just the right time. And I would have probably made that same mistake. It's very easy to sit back and say, "Oh, I would not have let that happen," but it happens to the, like I said, the best of us. And Eve did a feint or a dash or something, and Venator called him out instantly. Dash there. Eve just, I think the objective there was just to close in. A little bit of blade away, I think, from Venator. Yeah, it's actually, believe it or not, it is pretty easy to accidentally do if you're moving like diagonally, I think. Probably a moment of momentary panic there. Venator applying some pressure there with those cuts. But Eve is patient. That's what I mean. Like he's not afraid to mix it up and get aggressive, apply some pressure. But he is patient, and especially when he needs to be patient, he will be, and he will defend what's coming in. Not a ton of side steps, but he is feinting them, so like he's threatening it a lot, and Venator's having to watch out for it. Oh, but there he calls him out.
GG.
On the feint.
Good fight. And now I'm gonna. So Eve gets the 3rd place here. Congratulations. And now I'm gonna go get my ass kicked by Oak again in the grand final.
Yeah, I think Bar is pretty good against him.
I was thinking about switching to somebody else, but since I played Hassan the entire event, I'll stick with him. Maybe I'm gonna try something new this time, see if it goes a little bit better. Probably not. I really like Hassan, but he's definitely not my cup of tea. He doesn't have the tools that I usually work with. It's kind of, and he's even kind of different from. He has some similarities to everybody, but in the expression of the way he fights is just different.
Yeah.
Like he has fast attacks, but he cannot move fast in order to get a good counter. Like he has some good range movements, but he's not fast enough to throw them, unless he's throwing the lunge. That move is really good. So that is probably the only move that I like a lot about him.
All right. So Oak looking to secure the victory here. Probably feeling pretty confident since it's a rematch. But Venator's actually been pretty sharp as well. But I gotta say, like, Oak's performances, like, as 3119 was saying in the chat, like, they've been just incredible. So, perfect victory is not out of the question. And Venator, I think there was a punch.
Yeah, he did the punch.
Yeah.
I tried to do a Y attack and he did a punch.
Yeah. Oh, the switch up there. It's so deceptive. It's like he brings his blade down and then he goes in for this really like far-reaching cut. And it can catch you really easily if you're not ready for it. Yeah, exactly that move.
I threw an attack, but his attack went over mine.
Yeah. Yeah, Laszlo's very good at that. And it's kind of funny because Hassan is taller than him, but regardless, Laszlo can get that blade pretty high. The height difference isn't like ginormous, mind you, between these two. Okay, Venator took a flag, going for that lunge, that forced into a leg void. That was good movement though for Venator. Again with that combo, it's catching Venator a lot. This time it was a double, but it still doesn't really get him anywhere. Snap cuts there. Oak is really trying to get that hand snipe. Long guard. Going low, nice, nice. Got Oak into a bit of a rhythm there, and then switched it up. That's a very good way to use that lunge. Oak was moving as if Venator was going to throw another normal cut. Back and forth, love it. Very good footsies from both of them.
What?
Snap cut to the hand. Yeah, I was in our fight. I found that was tagging me like my hand when I wasn't expecting it
I
either.
didn't do anything.
So yeah, yeah, I know you. I know you. I was. It happened to me as well. That exact move.
That's
I'm
interesting.
not sure what it is. Yeah. Regardless, Oak is very good at timing it too, so he can even like time it when you're in a
Yeah.
wind up or something.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
I wasn't pressing anything, obviously, and
yeah,
maybe it goes to the
right.
guard.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, something I've been kind of wondering about is how hand hits work if your hand protection is not good. I wonder if that's something to do with it, but even then, Barbash, I don't know. Barbash's hand protection isn't that good either. I don't know if that's why. I'm just trying to think of what could be going on. Because I know, like, if you do have a substantial hand guard, it can stop a cut. But I don't know how the game considers it if you don't have much. Because he has a really small cross guard. It's really just to keep the hand there, like, in place. It's not so much to protect you. Yeah, something to ask Kubel about maybe. Could be the move too, though. Because it seemed like that move specifically was just perfectly aimed, even if you were ready for it. But Venator gets a flag regardless. He's definitely not about to give up here. But Oak, regardless of what the move's doing, like it certainly he's been playing at a really high level. So this win is well deserved.
GG. GG. Yeah, no more Hassan for me against Oak. That's for sure. GG Oak, a winner of this tournament. And yeah, it was really fun. We had some good fights. And Oak has managed to get some really good performances and um, really good flags there against a lot of good players. And thank you everybody for joining on this day. We thought to make something fun, and we actually managed. So I'll see you guys on Friday for the role play. And yeah, Subu, you want to say something?
Yeah, it was. I was glad to be here to help commentate and whatnot. It was great to see Oak just turning up the heat because earlier on he was doing great. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like once we got past the qualification, he suddenly like it's like a spark was ignited or something in him, and he just went ham. So I loved seeing that. And the competition was fierce too. We had the likes of Eve, among others. So yeah, fantastic tournament. And I like that there was a lot of fighting, but it didn't last like ridiculously long. In fact, it only lasted 2 hours. So that's
Yeah,
pretty damn good for
yeah,
such a fun tournament.
yeah. All right. I'll see you guys on Friday. Thank you everybody for competing, and yeah, see you soon.